Not know what happened to OBS lately, but sometimes it just crashes. Okay, so that's reseed map, which shouldn't need to happen very often. Log map change. In X, in Y, in ID. That's... if time delta. Oh. Map change log time start. So it is every 24 hours, not at a certain time. Oh. So that has implications for how we eventually want to schedule our processing. Okay. So some of these are probably scheduled updates, and some of these are probably map seeds. And I don't know that we have any way to distinguish one from the other. Well, from the index, we might get the approximate time that a seed file was published. Actually, I can probably look at. Well, what the color scheme is. Uh, that was published. Oh, so this is in name order, not date order. No, this looks like it's the original file time. Not the time it was published. Yeah, so we really don't know. Well, we know when we get access to a seed. That's not so going to be precise. All right. So I've been calling these maplog caches maplog servers. Is maplog file the seed method changes. I guess I could extend this to read the file. Yeah, breakpoints would be invalid in a seed file. Uh, but there's a fair amount that would be usable here. File path, date. Do I want this to be a completely separate kind of file, because there's like a bunch of stuff that's going to be the same. File path, date, open. I could do some path tests for seed file versus log file. And that will all be shareable. So we have time difference. So when we have a seed file, we will know that that timestamp that we may have to do manual fix up for this again. So I don't know if we have good signaling there versus some other server restart or something. And we're going to pick up some conditional logic. I could maybe abstract. Well, I can abstract stuff for files, but then all of this stuff kind of has to get duplicated as you develop each type of file. I guess that could be modules. I'm doing subclass right now. So you've got the generic stuff, you've got seed file versus log file. Open URL. It's just an attribute for you. We've got, so there's map log file. What the heck do you call this? The general. There's the actual map logs. There's the map seeds. There's the named seed. Seed and name logs. Oh, I can do all the modules, but that would almost be by instant thing. Wow. We would do. Wow. I guess I would have to have like a log file. create, but you're gonna have slightly different constructors, aren't you? Maybe conditionals are easier because we need a way to test, and then certain operations need to be specific. So it's a map seed. Uh, okay, so first of all, is it a seed file or is it a placement file? Well, there's seed files. There's log files that have seed. Well, does it contain seeds? Does it contain placements? I guess is what you might care about. It's a seed if path dot. Well, I'm looking at things that I might want to placement. It's a placement if it has map log. Is map seed just maybe has a way to get seeds? So that can return nil as is. But that doesn't necessarily imply like skip the file or anything. Path dot match. So only placement files can ever merge. Server within approx log time. Now, I guess the seed files will have some significance. In terms of breaking things. Now. So we're going to have, this is going to be like path seed. Which is going to be open. Just one line. So right now, we have this structured as open and return a handle that we do our gets on. I can just do file.read. Did we ever have a single value map seed? Or is that the first? Okay, yeah, that was it. So all of the map files are two-part seeds. Yeah, you're gonna be a different format. So do I call that like seed 2? Or do all seed references have to become arrays? When I call you that's just a completely invalid operation. And then this will just not match if there's no seed there. All right. Seed equals log file dot seed self dot load. Yeah. That's combined. Oh, it's combined log file. Oh, placements and file dot placements. Okay, I change my highlight term. Log file dot seed. So that's arc again. That's the arc table. We sort of upgraded by something like seed 2. And tracking a single seed there. Well, that's just tracking it. I mean, internally, array is probably fine. I mean, could do an array in the files. Hello, how's it going? I had OBS crash earlier, but other than that, it's okay. This is also very confusing. So arcs. Hmm. Do you do seed as an array or do you do seed 2? I guess the code should probably be kind of aware of that. Seed equals logfile.seed, so that will actually logfiles.last.seed. Now I added, I guess, the public methods here. are going to be things like these should, well, these just actually even do combine log files anymore. I just like removed that code. Yeah, I kind of just removed that code. I didn't remove this code. All right, so if it's log file.seed and we treat that as an array, now this is where, for some possible compatibility, I might want to do something like this. Seed equals dot seed, seed equals seed. So that might kind of be okay there. And then eplog file. Oh, I was merges with does seed equals seed. I need to check how Ruby does array equality. All right, so if 1, 2 is okay. Okay, so it can do, at least for simple objects, it can do array equality. And this was doing, oh yeah, this is going to be a 1. Let's see. So if I do this, that would be nil. Hmm. I want this to be an empty array. If I do this, I can do compact to remove nils. Oh, no. I want that to be nil or do I want that to be 0? I know that if I only have one algorithm, extra. But this is unknown. Yes, I could put 0 in there if it was a 1 seed. I might want to handle that on the other end. Okay, now my file iterators are only doing map logs, right? And that's not as nice of a skip, because that's a specific thing. Um, I think I can do that. All right, now we have to be mindful of that here. Oh. I don't even want, I want the prior placement. Placements or placement? Placements. I guess that is kind of where we want that. I might want to go ahead and try printing the direct seed of every file, which will just be empty a lot of time. Empty, 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 empty. Okay, so we're not getting our seed files here. Oh, no, wait, there's a seed file. There's a seed file. Okay. They're just blending in. Okay, so there's the merges with which merges with needs work because we have to do oh no, actually we do, well, we want seed to break it, but we want the ordering is wrong. Oh, I am gonna have to do separate pass. I'm not going to have an appropriate list of breakpoints when we process the file. The file. Well, this comes into the patch up stuff. All right. I'm gonna take a break. I'll be back in a minute to think through how we have to, what the order we have to process these in. And compared to how the order the file is going to get published in. Yeah, I'm probably going to do some manual fixing. Anyway, I'll be back in a bit. Don't recall if I'm looking for rocky or organic right now to get the habitat. Freestyle session, ain't no mashing. Hope she must have made an impression. I'm a pop one. Chat at me when that's gone.
No, don't hit the T. Hey! Mom, I'm getting shot! In both the game and by you! Stop, Mom! Ow! Ow!
Just giving my shield a recharge.
Ow! Mom, am I gonna have to call CPS? Oh!
that's the way to go to be able to save a lot of effort and not having to create all of the images statically or whatever. I mean, if you have the custom annotation stuff, you can even make them like all 360 degrees and then you rotate on the fly with these kind of things. Those things are awesome, and they just have to be like this. You don't want to ship an app with.
What the hell is going on?
This is the true form of Pinkun that I pretended I couldn't see. So, Pinkun was always by my side. And because of that, I was able to live out my dream of being a chosen one. I lived as a chosen one alongside the familiar I called a friend.
Then you're saying Pinkun's real form is...
Yes. Pinkun is a delusion I myself have created.
Pinkun is a delusion?
It all makes sense now. It feels natural. Freeing, even.
Pinkun?
Now that you know, this existence, the one you call Pinkun, is no longer needed, Saki.
No!
Why?
Because you're a chosen one, with or without me. It's your destiny to nullify this unending day. Yet as long as I'm part of that destiny, you'll continue to wander the space between reality and delusion.
All right. Need to do some thinking here. So in the normal course of things, we'll get, T1 log, we'll get T2 log, we'll get T3 log, and, that will continue on. And maybe we see that there's a short log in here somewhere, and then sometime later, T2 seed shows up. So absent that information, we would go T2 log based on T1, we would do T3 log based on T2, and we would do T4 log based on T3. Given the knowledge that there is a seed there, this would be based on nothing. Well, no, actually, a T2 seed would actually mean... I guess this is a bad place. Well, T3. You would actually become a reset. But we originally processed you as T3, which means we processed T4 based on that. Whenever a seed gets published, I may have to manually pick the time and reprocess everything subsequent. Well, there's reprocessing for the time, and then there is updating seed file for all the background natural objects and biomes. Also, our file iteration order is not going to permit us to know, even if we were doing a full reset, you would hit this and then we would hit this. So I probably have to scan for all the seeds first. Which in the S3 case, or that will mean downloading the index multiple times, I think. Maybe I could set that up to cache the index file, so that if we just each multiple times, it wouldn't refetch the file. Or maybe when creating the object. It would scan for the seeds. So far, the times are exactly equal. I don't know if that's accident or very, very deliberate. Wow. Yeah, I can find that out. Map.cpp had the time.getCurrentTime. Yeah, so it's second resolution, and this happens pretty fast, but it is technically accidental. Setup map changelog file. So they are very, very close. Your seed map. But the changelog file is written first. Well, I can't see it changing by more than 1 second. They would just have to check for the second and the prior second. Then they wouldn't really kind of have an epsilon. We have to scan for all of the seeds so that as we scan the logs, we can say, oh, you were a reset. Which means we can't really put it into merges with. Or not entirely within merges with. I mean, I guess I could have a thing that like sets logfile.seed. Oh, logfile is how it's passing. No, maybe I have to do. There's the question of how we get the seed information down to things. Because if we knew the seed, then we could say logfile.seed is our current known seed. For the ones that don't otherwise know their seed. Then we could say, okay, this is within range of that seed. We set it. Now all the downstream stuff can continue to tag that from the log files. Or we keep seeds a separate, I guess, arcs or kind of a seed log. I was putting that in the spans so that as long as you had a chunk, you knew what base map to show on it, in theory. This also kind of pushes arc creation out to the in-between file level. So this ordering problem kind of says we have to do a separate. That would just be for the immediately published files. Well, the typical case is that it's published long after that. Uh, I'm gonna need some mechanism where I can say, okay, there's a known seed at this time. So everything that was done since then has to be, well, only the final images have to be. I think I've decided to do map logs in ignorance of prior position. Precisely because of that problem. I have to scan for seed. That's actually, if I go through do just seed, well, it's not quite arcs. Because there are times that you can get arc breaks inside of file. In the Rift system. So I can update arcs from there, but I cannot like do a complete There might be ones that aren't found by just the file scan. Yeah, seed null. But it's just start and seed. So I can do I guess I could have like the arc file be its own thing so that you can use it and other things could use it. So the advantage of doing it here is that we already have file system and output path. Although the output path is like key placement, so that could be an opportunity to move that elsewhere. Okay, and then write it out. Now, if I do more of an abstraction for this, I probably should be doing arc objects. And then treating this more as the serialization of it. Was it an arc list? An arc file. Arc repository. And of course, now I have to pass this stuff around more. Well, okay, you can initialize a new arcs thing. Whale. If we do seed processing as a separate step, that will give us our arcs. We then process this stuff. Relative to that. So we load up the arcs. We say if we are at approximately a arc start time, we don't have a, well, actually that's one level up. We don't have a base. I guess it's arc list to come with a better name. Tiled placement log, keyframe. File utils? Maybe. JSON? Maybe. Progress bar? No. That, I don't think so. It's not going to be arcs.arcs. We're going to need some of that. Base arc. Some file stuff. That uses the arc list. We'll revisit that one. Not gonna be tile set. I don't. There's that. There's that. Not write tiles, not read tiles. So that, let's see, so arc_list.arcs doesn't make sense. Maybe internally. Also, I think this is kind of a anachronism. Makes a little bit more sense with how they're actually used. On arc list. So this is this loads, this saves. That adds an entry. And this is pretty much just in serialization format, so this will get a little bit uglier. Okay, so we were doing it as a mirror of the file. But if we want doing things with, it will be nicer as a nicely formatted thing. Now you see, we're going to want at some point just a straight up collection of art. I don't necessarily want to implement all the chin stuff. Okay, so that's sorted. List.each. Arcs is actually a hash. Well, I could look what operations I'm actually doing to it. When would you load? Would we load anytime we initialize this? Possibly. So it's the start time. Actually, do I have this? Might not have this. So this is going to be something like that. We want, I think we need to move this to all right, so that was all integers. I think args stored them as int as well. Actually, why did I do that strings? Maybe because of one of the values I was using there? Okay, so that is going to be there. All right, so an arc. Oh, well, properly speaking, an arc is a server, which I'm not handling right now. A arc start, which should have been serialized as an int. And that was a list. All right. Pretty generate arcs dot values dot sort by. Right, so I don't know if that's gonna be sorted. This is going to be on arg, and then arcs dot values dot sort by. Dot map. You're part of that. You need you. This is not an assignment anymore. And we've messed up. And then the map needs that. I should possibly condense this somewhere. All right, so we're going to JSON parse the entire thing. So we're going to get an individual thing. And then encode. Self.class. I guess it could be it just doesn't use any object methods. Doesn't really need to be, but it's gonna be easier to access here. Let's dot each. Actually, that's not gonna be self. That's gonna be arcs. Or is it? Yes, but that would be recursive reference if we did it. I mean, I guess sort of the way to do that would be to do there. Oh boy. Our translated code is not going well. Right, so that got, okay, that was it. Oh, I guess you can actually compact. There, and then it might be easier to do that. Still kind of. All right, file utils is needed for file things. I don't see any file thing. Definitely using JSON. I'd really separate this sometime. Okay, so that's you. So right now this uses that. Just use this internally for now. Yeah, so the awkward thing is we've got the arc. Well, the arc list is, we're going to try to use it in a similar fashion. So that's a checkpoint. So that's going to be arcs dot checkpoint. This is going to be arcs arc. I don't know if, I don't think I use you anywhere. So if we set this up to do no actual file processing, we do. Oh, but you were the thing that was doing arcs. So we need. I might want to go back and just flip the arguments in these other ones too for consistency. So that will exist. It lazy loads as needed. We're not doing anything with it yet. Yeah, and then that ends up loading it. And that's not at all pretty printed. But it looks like timestamp to arc. With unknown seeds across the board, which is kind of expected. Okay. And I think I am going to have to do something with that here in order to kind of update these as we go. All right, I've done too much. If we were to ever get down here, yes, it's like this is the placement path. This is all placement stuff. Probably notes. Let's see. Processing. That was just too much stuff at once. All right. So if we have a seed file, oh, we said that needed to be multiple passes, right? So we could actually redo this as let's logs each. I want an outright different script for this. There's some settings. Well, it might be a different task like automated. That didn't actually different. Okay, for each server, that's fine. I might want to redo this one, cache the index. You actually sort of care about the merges with, because the merges with are when you break continuity. Well, let's automatically skip the priors. Am I gonna have to be looking up my seed dark list? Well, yes, that was kind of the point. Let's see. This is what sets our base for you. Are we gonna need some similar logic here? We don't necessarily care about base here. We do care about merges with. Rather, we care about not merges with. This was just my little span printer. This cares if it's a placement. Because we need to maintain our prior for the merges with. If it's placements, do that. If it is and when it merges with, incorporates all the built-in seed stuff. I keep wondering if I need to do some seed stuff here. If it's a seed only, that is a reset. Oh, I don't have arc end information. Well, I don't have precise. So almost for the period I'm interested in here. I'm almost more interested in that. So those things were very, very large. Right. Actually do need that to get reinitialized every pass. All right, do I want you printing anything? I don't think I want you printing anything. Maybe the gaps. Oh, I printed log file. Where did I do that? Ah. Okay. Merge break on the first file. Because it was nil. Also a seed change when we get to the seed file. and then the other seed file published, and then these could be updates or these could be seed changes. I guess is where so that is gap. So if it's a gap that's not approximately 24 hours, if oh wait, we have ranges. This is if not include really. And then we don't necessarily want all of these. 0.0. Well, how do I mess up that badly? This is probably, I'm probably forgetting. Include is probably not the right word. Buttons. Member. No. No, it's still saying 0. Shouldn't be 0. How? I copied the code from here. No, not there. And it was hunky-dory. What? Are we like doing something to Gap by calling member on it? What? Wait, these are all this, as I moved this code around, it got transposed. Okay, 673. Well, that first 673 was the first one. So this is probably an update. I know there was a log published at Seed Changed. Because it exactly matches the start of a log. Oh, it depends. Plugging along, the previous file gets cut off and ends that period. That should be, log file should be the start of the new period. I think we should see, no, because, well, it's the prior file that's short. But if we're doing log file to prior, that's what we should be measuring, right? The 503. 50. That's the seed. Huh, these are both small. And this came along much later. At 503, we reset and started a new log. That log could arguably go for 24 hours. I guess this is where I need to have... so what's the time here? This is really the length of prior. But we're reporting log file as where we end. The prior dot timestamp goes for gap until log file dot. Okay, from U to U is 18. This is the time when something happened. From U to U is 3. This should be the time that the new log starts, which means the previous one got cut short. 6-hour gap at there. Okay, so seed change at there. Oh no, there's the 9-hour gap. I missed that somewhere. And then there was apparently another update 13 hours later. And so dates might tell me something about which ones are likely. Code updates versus map resets. So those don't have dates on. All right, update all this stuff once I heard there was a reset. So about the past 3. Yeah, so this was an apocalypse. These must be code updates. Why is there so few code update resets, actually? Let's like perfectly scheduled a reset. Or does he have maplog resumption working better now? Well, all right. Prior maplog file. Proxlog time. And I actually need to update this. So that was like late yesterday night. 13. 295 probably. These don't have times, but they do have dates. But I have to remember the name. Lead and follow. And I'm still unsure whether this is a major update. Anyway, so I want this for reference. So Boundless World is all the way down here. That doesn't seem like enough updates. Wait, is the prox log time file time? Or was it not logged at first? Oh no, the beginning of Boundless World actually started on the old system, right? It was only when he reset the map. And I forget which update that. Well, we know when our changed updates start. Oh, so actually, some of those old files are sort of relevant for continuity purposes. This is only just relevant for seeds. All right, so that started at family specialization update. Then we had a forced seed reset. Which doesn't have a time. That's still gap. Yeah, so forced seed reset. Maybe I had this in the wrong date. The news post is really late. Distant Explorers. Oh, yep. And Pie and Wine. So there's another one in here somewhere. Feast and Fixes. There we go. And I probably haven't updated this actually since the lead and follow update. No, wait, that's level 6. Oh, I probably got this, and the new map log would have not been published at that time. That map seed was published. The new map seed has never been published. I would expect this to not be a... Oh, but it's always but the most recent one. Actually has a little bit of stuff to do, but... So at best, I could maybe write out a candidate breakpoints to make it easier for me to come along and tag which ones should be full resets. Oh, okay, so that was the bug going. Actually, I'm not sure if it's been. Has it been 24 hours since the reset? All right, so I could put out some sort of gap log to make it easier to identify timestamps where I would need to do some sort of. I could probably make a little script that says, okay, look at the recent timestamps, pick one that we're going to mark as a map reset point. I haven't played in a few updates, but sure. All right, so that might add some gaps here. Okay. Oh, that's that update may have come in very, very close to the end mark there. And that is probably we don't have that seed file yet. That's another 23. Run. Let's see. I checked the other one at 12:11. Yeah, 12:09 seems. And then that file would have been published at the 12th. Oh, so extenders and well, all directional power connections have the property that they only send power downstream. And I've seen it. Generally, they only send power downstream when the source network, where the arrows are coming from, has at least 100% power. So my usual setup is I sort of have the main base with like, I don't know, anything I'm gonna want to use and wait for. Like printers, soil extractors, chemistry lab, all my power generation. And then I'll do an extender to like smelter, which is like gonna like run all the time, but if I need power for something else, I don't want it to slow down. I want the smelter to slow down. And then maybe I'll have like atmospheric condenser around there. Maybe on another step, and then I'll do another extender to research network, which is just it's always going. It always drains power. It's just such a constant drain that I'm like, yeah, that can wait. So if everything's working properly, you just kind of have this priority system. If you got your power generation at high priority, low priority. When you start mixing batteries into that, it gets awkward because the batteries will kind of drain upstream stuff to charge. So if I want like yeah, generally. So if I want a So what I've tried to set up on occasion is I have power generation to two different extenders, so splitting. One goes to the constant high demand smelter research stuff, and that can run when power is being generated. Oh, so the problem with that with the network I just described is that if you have batteries on your main power, that can still be drained by all the constant high demand stuff. So I would set up a network where power generation could go to the constant high demand, and it's going to be like a 50-50 split or a 30-30 split, depending on how many connections you have. So that's just, I mean, you could change the ratio with a splitter, but that's about it. But that's not really what you want, because like want it. I think it's always 50%. So it's like you can't. It's awkward. Anyway, then my main like printer, chemistry lab network, etc. as the other side of the power split to a battery, so it has battery power to run if there's nothing being generated, run solar or something. And the problem is the power is always 50-50. So if you're not drawing anything on your main network, the constant network only gets 50% and vice versa. So I've never found a satisfactory setup there, as far as like keeping batteries for main base and also kind of getting full power to, well, I think one thing I was sort of able to do was like you could go from the high draw network to extender back to main network. So if it wasn't running, you could at least get that power back. But you couldn't get full power to the extra net, the high demand network, because it would drain your batteries. Yeah. So there's some cool stuff. I've never been able to make a perfect network. It kind of works until you get to the complicated stuff. Yeah, I'm thinking about going back for the holiday update, because I still have to catch up on Wanderer. And you know, there's the whole charitable thing with the winter event. It's going to be a little bit weird that you'll kind of have these like gift return trade stations left over afterwards, but maybe they'll use it in future events. You know, assuming they don't just disappear them at everybody's base. Hmm. Yeah, because they timed it with the end of the launch with the 2-year anniversary-ish, didn't they? Oh, okay. Well, yeah, every gap is going to do a publish time. So that sort of makes sense. Bye-bye. Yeah, so I might want to like log gaps. Actually, I can produce this pretty fast. If I just do recent files, like the last 10 files and look for gaps, then I can get a candidate list for marking resets. All right, so for the bulk processing of the scan through, I am going to need to have a manual mark for our most recent apocalypse. Yeah, so we don't actually have a definite end of arcs, so to speak. So maybe what that turns into is we can have arcs without end time. And then... Oh. You know what? I had somebody complain about, or, well, tell me about like mouse clicks and stuff when playing. So I may need to turn down the noise gate a bit. What's just had better feedback? That is that close or open? So assuming those are levels, what would that be? Would that be expand? Would that be not open, or would that be close? Well, let's expand the entire range. I mean, I just kind of took the defaults, which seemed like it might make sense. And I guess when I'm near the mic, it's fine. Expand it a little bit. Well, yeah, but yeah, I do move around sometimes. So I want some range, but then the clicks don't show up. And the sometimes went away. Okay. So yeah, that might not give me enough movement range. So if it's the end of a word, it's actually the close threshold that we need to down. Okay, so clicks. Oh, now that is, no, that is. No, okay. I saw one that didn't. And that picking up might have cut off too. Okay, I didn't pick up a hum. And Victor Voisu, thank you for follow. Yeah, so this it might be a close problem. Assuming I understand what close means. Testing. That was an open problem, maybe. I'm not like really facing. Oh, that cut off. Hmm. Yeah, the OBS voice meters are nice, but they're also don't give you like really accurate history. Not exactly professional audio equipment. Okay. Right now, I am always tagging arc end as the most recent end, and kind of relying on that to determine the most recent map time to show. Now, it used to be that by the time an arc was published, we knew that it had ended. So maybe that kind of has to be a data change that we have an unknown end. Current arc will have an unknown seed and an unknown end. And the arc with a seed, I can tag the end. Like, oh, that's gonna be the same as actually making a new arc at that time. Oh. I mean, arc is kind of an anachronism at this point. So I might have to have a thing that. Well, actually, since that's making a new arc. At that time, it might just be that I make the new arc and edit the timestamp for the last one. And we have the seed problem. All right, so I'm looking at where all of our seeds are in a pre-pass. So for going back and reprocessing all of these, I actually do want this to be kind of a separate step. Because I'm going to want to identify all the seed starts I can. And then we're going to have to patch up the end because there's an extra arc break in there. And we might get a few more arc separations from processing files. Okay, so if we do U here, that does some of the merge breaks. If I just scanned for arc reset condition, I mean, those I could probably do inline. So the gaps, I'll probably be able to use gaps in a separate step. That's a seed change. That's a merge break, which is usually a seed change. And you're doing basically nothing right now. Okay, so, did I? I didn't save. Also, I'm dumping out my ArcDB, which I don't really need to do. There's all of our historical merge breaks. And yeah, the gaps are just yeah, so there's all the historical arcs. So I could use that to get an initial arc data. Now I had that. I did some actual file processing. This I would expect to be very... Oh. Got that open somewhere. Oh. Yeah, I had problems when I was doing that. Oh, actually, right, because I hadn't updated merges with, I think. So all of this is kind of gonna be kind of garbage. Fans are fine. Well, the bases are going to be off, but that's open for possible editing. So I want to see if I can get this to put out a ARC file, and this file is kind of trash. So whenever there's a merge break, that's going to be a new, well, I may have to keep around my last ARC to put a timestamp on it. So we know the start time of an ARC. If the log file has a seed, we might know the seed. I don't have an actual server. ARCs, well, I moved it. I think are in, I think they're in seconds. So the problem is my detail logs are going by the start time in the log file. This is going to be log file time. And I'm not well set up for that right now. And if there's a seed, it's a seed. If there's not, it's not. And got a seed change here. And that log file will have that seed. This is still end unknown. And this is still something we can look at to see how it looks. Or it can crash. Nil class. Right. I switched that to the internal variable. So we could use it in the loop, loading things. That means we're not guaranteed to load first. So you can't. We have to duplicate this code. Okay. No seeds. Wait. Oh yeah, seed 1. Arguably, seed 1s could be putting zeros in there. Okay, so now we got start times. If I tracked the last known arc, I could go back and edit that to have an end time. But this is going to this runs into possible problems with the way I was doing all of my times based on the placement. Oh, this is always saying new. Well, I'm always replacing long as the start time is the same, it's all good. Uh. And I can, well, I can also look up arcs at a time. I don't have any way to get like the most recent. That's actually like exactly what you would want out of an arc list. We just have to have the start time of it. An indexed thing. It might just be easier to keep it around. What is that? We're gonna need. Well, I have the base arc thing that's based on timestamp of a file. I could ask, if I did move that up, I could ask for the arc for the prior file. That's prior pretty much. That's saying for the prior file, we want an base file timestamp that is Wolvenskar! How's it going? Were you leading a 1-hour army? Oh, and then this was taking this data and turning it into an actual arc. Oh, okay. The phrasing there doesn't suggest that that's. I mean, maybe it's a quest. I don't know. It was must. Okay. Okay. And he's so nice in One Life. Okay, so I think that this basic process works. Example, 5 enemies. Oh, okay. Okay, all the file stuff, you kind of file stuff. I don't know if I just need to get log files involved. I guess I only need the timestamp. Well, I could take advantage of the server. But that was actually recreating something. So this is. We call this arc at. Arcs, values, timestamp. This is going to have a object now. And that's just gonna be, oh. What does sort by SN do if it doesn't have an end? Well, I haven't been in yet. Jason was kind enough to take the bell tower thing out of my tool list. Let's see. So if we sort by S start. No, I have to do a custom sort here. I want it to be by end, but if it's null, then I need to be it by this. There's no end, then it's last. Oh, but that's a value. Hmm. Starts and ends should be sortable-ish. Start, if I organize things right, the start should still be after the end. And final placements. Arcs dot at. Yeah, oh, actually, one thing I might want to do is look at the badge code to see if it's a better place to put the hearts. Yeah, it's called Exiled. Big X on you. It's kind of viewer relative though. And I was using this. And this gets into the weird time offset thing. Where we want our start and ends to be disjoint, but to start with, we've got a prior file. So to start with, now I might actually be able to put this into this operation. Sort of maintain my ordering stuff. And then you were down here. It would actually be prior, but we have to say if prior, not guaranteed to exist in this case. For nil class. Oh, because you're if prior as well. This is in our else case. Are you not Eric? Oh, this was the selection. Wait. And it's equals. Code. Oh, because this was here. Oh. That doesn't work. I don't still have that open? Don't. Okay. Well, we filled in a few of them. We did not fill in these. Still some gaps though. Maybe. Oh, the prior is not the prior time. The prior is the prior mergeable file. If the mergeable, which most arcs aren't, that's not going to work. Prior mergeable, I need prior arc. Which I thought I'd do with this, but that assumes I have the prior file. No, prior is always there. Shouldn't be conditional. Oh. And did it work for the recent ones? And okay, that is believable. Be separated out right now. Like the last 2 or 3. The start of the file time. We can actually right now correlate the with 673. First of those. So yeah, it doesn't have a. That should have an end. We have the next seed. It's not prior. What the heck did I print? That looks like all the arcs again? Oh, I want to put this in. Okay, first one, prior missing. We expect that. So that means. What? I guess this could be null, couldn't it? Log file dot timestamp. Oh, seed only. The prior file. The seed file still has a timestamp. Are we updating the wrong arc? All right, where is... And I've still got this. Let's focus on one piece of... Oop. Okay, and there it is. Wait. Okay, there was a prior file, but it was not a defined arc. We expect that for the first one. Right, because you need some event that creates an arc. Quick fix. Or not. Well, isn't that interesting? That shouldn't be... That shouldn't come up missing, I don't think. We have only one arc. After, well, we're seed changed, so we're about to do the second one. Let's start. We're at 503. Oh, we went through a bunch of files, so that timestamp is not going to be less than start. So that's a little bit of a different selection than I was doing in the other. I was trying to find the arc before this file. Now I want to find the arc that includes this file. Okay, so that might be one change I have to revert. This is the arc that includes the previous file. And this is where I'm going to have to get really careful when I start timestamp. And Yeah, if there's no end, it's sufficient for the timestamp to be greater. Okay, so you got an end time that's this start time. That will hopefully fix the rest of them up. Right, because I only used that in the print. I was printing stuff out here. You got an end, missed an end, missed an end, missed an end. That's a lot of missing. Sometimes these depend on things that we're kind of changing inside of the file. But since we're acting completely outside of that, what is your issue? Yes, we don't know if prior and it merges. Oh, because we're throwing out this case. No, that's not an arc chain. It's also not a prior missing. But does that mean we're actually updating the wrong arc? Well, this is saying your end is 6-6. 5-6-6. That's significantly farther than there, which suggests we're grabbing the wrong one. Expect your end this. Maybe this is a problem with my sorting algorithm. Okay, that's entirely too many candidates. Well, if they all end up with nils, that sort of makes sense. Oh, I'm doing less than or equal. So if that gets that to the start time of the next one, yeah, this is sort of the overlap issue I was. Oh, also, the way I'm doing this. Now overlap may still be an issue. Arctet send. That didn't help at all. I want to know. And goes to S start. What does that look like? How about we map to that? That'll tell me what's happening with my nils. Well, no, not exactly. It only tells me. How about just the arc end? Doesn't tell me what we sorted by. Oh, would you look at that? A lot of nils. And 899. Okay, so that's just the different wraparounds. So we pick nil. We do 644, 629. So we update that one. It's got an end, but we sort the start of the other arc for that. Is this a sorting of equals problem? Yes. This actually kind of is the issue I was talking about with where if you have the starts and ends the same, it's ambiguous what that second is. And I think what I ended up doing was saying our start is +1. Well, I was also using the internal. I might have to have some sort of epsilon arc time. And just hash it. So given a time, we might have the arc that starts right. We need to bump the time. We need to bump the start time to make sure that the ends don't overlap. The file at that time should be included, but if we're just doing start time, it would actually fall outside that range. Or does timestamp just have to be +1? As start, you're always just loading and saving as it. You actually have to be doing stuff. I'll make sure that they don't overlap. And that's the S end, which does stay the same. Okay, now we're just printing a lot of junk. Build in more? Like, maybe not every other one. This is not like crazy far out. Wait, how did you get a seed 2? Oh, well, that's not right. Okay, that's something else we have to investigate. Why does some files get doubled? There's only some files. I need such better logging. I probably need to restrict this to like the first two, because the first two are immediately wrong in several respects. All right, 1, 5, 6, 4, 4. Well, I guess the second one not getting a timestamp, actually I kind of need a third one. Those are all different seeds. 1, 5, 6, 4, 7, 1, 2, 5, 7. That doesn't have enough digits. 1, 5, 6, 4, 5, 7, 1, 2, 5, 7. Get all this stuff out of my face. Now you have an end? There's something funny in how I'm like reloading this? Oh, I know what happened. Changed my key method and didn't. Okay, so end. That doesn't explain how we got C2s. Did I outright close that? All right, too many files. And does it look right? Reasonable. This, it could change up a lot of stuff in how we're... You have no end. These have 2 seeds. Oh, wait, am I properly loading? I... That's where that's leaking. So after some number of rounds, which we've already done it twice, and corrupt some of these, doesn't seem to have happened yet. Wait, we had a break. Why do we have a break? And more breaks. Oh no, those are unknown seeds, not unknown ends. And that does unfortunately happen from time. Okay, that's... So we have the older ones working. Not the newer ones. This only ends the previous arc. Shouldn't be... Issue for tracking these, maybe? Well, what's fine? That's a wee bit disturbing. Oh! How do we lose that on reprocessing? Did having it not be null change the selection condition? Now it should be null, right? So it's not showing up as prior missing. Wait. Okay, so first one, merge break with nothing. Create an arc. Seed change at the same time. Okay, yeah, so there's 2. There are 2 known seeds, and we should really have an unknown seed here. And, well, this is where I'd have to manually mark it. So you're not saying prior missing. and we're not updating the right arc? Huh? Okay, so our first one finds itself. When we get the seed change, so an emerge break, we recorded an arc at the same time, but be missing its end. But okay, we're going to update the end of that. But after we update the end, it's not selectable. I also not sure. Right, because we have the log file and we have the map seed. We actually do have a prior entry. Not actually prior in time. I may have to I may have to track our command. Legitimately have a last file. The thing after it not actually. And if there was a previous file, it would have been lost because we processed the first log of that. I guess we can even call this current arc. All right, so now we don't care about that. I guess if current arc. Then we replace you. Yes, we create this and we add it to the list. We touched it. I think that's pretty much all the same. Okay, now you look good. And this we did have a problem with this rewriting itself. Now, I am always overwriting. I might want to do a lookup and merge information. Because I'm going to need to be able to manually tag these sometimes. Oh, if I discover arc steering processing, well, it's going to update this arc with one of these with a new timestamp, and then it creates a new one with a new set of time. If the timestamps work. Or if they match up. And right now, these timestamps will not match up. I'm relying on this being my directories. Well, actually that comes fans. Maybe it does. Maybe, well, it would not work with the current map stuff to just publish my new arc list. There are timestamps. It's using the arcs to get the files to load. All right, so that probably needs to be extracted from map process because I'm going to need to be able to, well, I need this to be conservative. All right. There's more for the other thing. We need to fix up. We need to find arc breaks. We need to separate process for seeds. We might have to do manual tagging of previous seed ends. We need to deal with value preserving scans because we're doing manual update. We still have the problem of old spans. So this is like kind of like the detection process. And maybe the arc should turn to like seed log or something. And have that be separate from map log spans. I just kind of like the idea of the spans having the seed in them, but it actually will be awkward to go back and update. Maybe that needs to be a separate thing. Maybe it goes from arc log to seed log. And this needs to, that's the only thing in this file. Yes, that needs to go back for now. That code does not actually So that used the seed for rehydrating. So that was log files. We got the server, we got the seed. From the log file. If we found it, probably works with a timestamp. But it has to be this test. The sort method might have to change. Because that has proven to be a little bit awkward. And this is going to have to get checked. Uh, I'm going to get back to that. It's going to get extracted. All right, there's still, this went from surprisingly easy to just pull out the seeds from the files to, well, I'm probably partly stuck in sort of the mindset and the existing code from before. So maybe if I was coming at it completely clean, it would be a little bit nicer. But we definitely do not have hard seed end time now. Anyway, I wanted to checkpoint work because I want to go, eat lunch and stuff so I can come back and play this game. Thanks for watching. Thanks to Woven Scar for bringing some friends. Let me see if I can recommend anything. Somebody else who hosted me. One life right now. Not when I'm usually on. Depends on how caught up I am and stuff. Bye-bye. I see somebody doing some Minecraft modding. I don't know how much longer he's going to be going. But if you're looking for someplace to hang out, Oh Boy's doing some other game-related development stuff. So that's someplace cool to hang out. Thanks for hanging out with me. Goodbye and